Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Damriel and welcome to a review of patch notes for 6.0. These are just rough drafts of what we can expect in 6.0. It is all apt to change, but I think it would be a good time for me to review it and discuss with you and let you know how much these changes are going to be affecting people and maybe give you an insight of what we can expect. First, they're just little notes over here, introduction, yada yada, new content, level 100 talent and Draenor perks. A new row of talents has been added for level 100 for testing purposes. These are currently accessible at level 90. That's kinda cool. Draenor perks is a new feature that adds rewards for leveling. Over levels 91 to 99, you'll earn these 9 new Draenor perks in a random order. Each class and specialization has a different set of 9 Draenor perks, and I think it would be kind of neat to look that over. That is actually something I've been looking forward to for a while. The little perks you get while leveling, so that you don't just get to choose which talent you want every level 15, 30, 45, every 15 levels pretty much. Like, get to choose little perks here and there from time to time. I think it would be really neat. First, let's go ahead and discuss about the game system changes, the stat squish. I'm going to pull up the picture right here. As you can see, the original player power before Squish was ridiculous. From 50 to 80, it was about, it's kind of ridiculous. Not really. From 50 to 80 was a little linear. That's why it's really easy to level right now. And then after 80, it bumps up. After 85, it makes a pretty big jump. And when you hit 90, it skyrockets. It's ridiculous. But with the new auto squish, player power after squish is going to be pretty linear until 90. Very slight jump from 90 to 100, and a little bump up towards the end of leveling. And same thing is going to happen with creature health. Right now the creature health is immense when it comes to level 90 to 100 and stuff like that. That's what it would be if we were to actually get into Warlord's Draenor, and the auto squish wouldn't be affected. It would just skyrocket. But with the new auto squish, this little sliver of health is just tiny little. It's minuscule, but it's same percentage. Like if you hit somebody right now for 15% of their health, you still hit them for 50% of their health in Warlord's Draenor. It's just everything will be downscaled and will be sane. Instead of having a tank with 1 million health, we'll just maybe have a tank with 35-40k, which is, I think, to me sounds very sane. Also, make sure to grab some popcorn and drink for this video, because this is going to be a long video. I want to make sure I do a full review for this. Next is the hidden expertise removal. I already talked about it in the last video. All players will now have a 100% chance to hit, 0 chance to be dodged, 3 chance to be parried, and 0 chance to glance when fighting creatures up to 3 levels higher than them. Some of the changes they're doing for tanks especially are they're adding the new reduction of chance to be at for the attacks to be parried by 3. They're adding for Death Knights, Druids, Monks, Priests. Well, no, they're not into Priests. They add to Paladin, Warrior, Monk, Druid, and Death Knight. And it comes within the passive. Like, let's say Death Knight's Veteran of the 3rd. It now, next to it, increase your total stamina by 9% and your chance to dodge by 2. They also have reduced the chance for attacks to be parried by 3, which make tanking more efficient, making sure that tanks can be less parried than anybody else. So DPS is still going to have to stand behind the target in order to not have the attacks be parried, but tanks will be able to get past the parry, or majority of that parry. Some of the things have been removed for like priests and pallies, and other ones are like Divine Fury, which increases chance to hit with Penance, Smite, Powered, Solace, Cascade, Divine Star, Halo, and Holy Fire by 15%. All that hit expertise kind of stuff is going to be removed. They're just out of the way. Player health and resilience. This is actually going to be something exciting for PvP. Base resilience has been reduced to 0. Nada, nil, nothing. Battle fatigue has been removed. PvP combat no longer reduces the amount of healing received by PvP participants. Critical damage and critical health in PvP combat now deals 150% of the normal spell ability effect. So now we'll be able to see those little jolts of extra healing and extra damage, just in order to balance out PvP power and PvP resilience and all that. So instead of implementing PvP resilience and PvP power, they're implementing extra crit and damage and health when it comes to PvP combat, which I think is fantastic. I think it might actually do the fix. Maximum mana has been approximately doubled at all levels to keep pace with the expected health from new stamina values. So that makes sure that healers don't really run out of mana or go ridiculously fast when it comes to doing PvP or any kind of PvP combat or PvP arenas or something like skirmishes, pretty much. Also, all player cast healing and absorption effects has been increased by approximately 50% in effectiveness if the heal or absorb a percentage of maximum health, then instead reduced by 25%, making sure that the absorbs are that makes sense. So like, let's say a tank has 1 million health right now, and then they get absorbed up to a maximum amount of their health, then they get a huge absorb. It's ridiculous. It's unnecessary. So the absorb should not be blown up so much. It should be just enough absorb to make a difference, but not enough to be ridiculous. Absorbs in current patch 5.4.7 are a little ridiculous. You gotta admit that. If a player is absorbing a lot of damage, it will take a while for anybody to take him down. You're gonna need a lot to burst that through that. Returning healing spells, we already talked about that. A lot of healing spells are going to be taken out, and some are going to be kept there. Base cast time is going to be 1.5 seconds for most healers, with maybe 1 or 2 insta heals out there, and you're going to have higher efficiency heals and higher throughput heals. I think that's how you say it, throughput, which like gives a lot of healing really fast, but drains lots of mana. So you're going to have to mix and match between those, whether you're okay with mana and you're okay with healing, or you need to really emergency heal somebody and you don't mind blowing off some mana. Racial traits, I already talked about that. They're doing a bunch of changes for racial traits. Also, all this will be in the description below, so you'll be able to check it out. I'll make sure to leave this for you to see, so you can actually read up on it. The racial changes, they are the same ones that I talked about in my last videos. Ability pruning. Now this is actually interesting. This is the first time I've seen abilities being taken out. So let's begin. Let's see and dissect what we got. Death Knight. Army of the Dead Knight deals 75% less damage and is only available to Blood Death Knights. So Unholy and Frost can't have it anymore, and Blood is the only one that can have it, which I think is awesome. It's a great change. Some people disagree with me, but I mean, there really is no need for Army of the Dead for any other specs. I mean, the best part about it was a Blood Death Knight could spawn him, start fighting a boss, the ghouls are tanking him, and then everybody can just beat the shit out of the boss. Pretty much. Dual Wield is now only available to Frost Death Knights, so Unholy and Blood cannot have it. I don't think Blood had it. Maybe they did, not sure. Horn of Winter no longer regenerates runic power. It's only just above that that Death Knights can cast themselves, has no cooldown, and lasts 1 hour. Necrotic Strikes is now learned only by Frost and Unholy Death Knights, so Blood doesn't have it. Raise Dead is now only available to Unholy Death Knights, summoning a ghoul as a permanent pet, which makes Master of the Ghouls passive out of the game. Rune Strike now replaces Death Coil, Frost Strike now replaces Death Coil, and Obliterate now replaces Blood Strike. Rune Strike is going to be the a staple ability for Blood Death Knights, so they're not going to have Death Coil. Frost Death Knights are not going to have Death Coil or Blood Strike, instead they're just going to have Frost Strike and Obliterate, which will replace them. So, I mean, it's a changing, and I guess it kind of makes sense for Frost Death Knight to not have Death Coil or Blood Strike. I mean, they're not even Blood Spec or Unholy Spec, so it's unneeded. Unholy Frenzy, though, is being removed, so that's going to be quite a change. I'm not sure many Death Knights are going to be happy about that. Druid. Some of our weirdest and most interesting changes possible. Enrage is being removed out of the game for them. So let's say you're Boomkin, you cannot rage. Innovate has been removed. Mana cost for druids has been adjusted accordingly, so there's no need for extra mana gain or stuff like that. Mangle, however, Mangle for cats has been removed, but it's staying for the bears, which is like, what? I played a druid before for a long time. I love a druid to level 90. I think I still have. I'm not sure. Maybe I deleted. I'm not sure. And I played Feral. Mangle was like the staple ability for cats. I'd never really played bears, but I guess from what I'm seeing right now, it probably doesn't make sense. But whenever patch releases or whenever more information gets released, I think it'll start making more sense. Nourish is being removed, which is kind of weird because I actually like that ability. Shred is now available to all druids, and apparently for Shred, you may not even need to be behind a target to use it. So probably that's why Mango is being removed, so that Shred can be used in cat form. But now it's going to be available in all druids, so I guess bears can use it as well, or Boomkin. Swipe has been removed from bear, but swipe for cat stays the same. I don't really know why that's a change, but I guess we'll see it. And last but not least, symbiosis is gone. It's just gone. It's not there. I kind of like symbiosis. Alright, Hunter. Some of the biggest changes I've seen so far. Arcane Shot is no longer available for marksmanship hunters. What? It makes no sense. Why you taking away Arcane Shot from marksmanship hunters? That's like Arcane Shot is like the basic staple of hunter ability. Throughout the hunt, now reduces the cost of aim shot when active to preserve its value to marksmanship hunters. Alright, I guess that sort of makes sense. I guess they could just be using aim shot more often. Aspect of the Hawk has been removed. Aspect of the Iron Hawk has been renamed to Iron Hawk, and now passively provides 10% damage reduction. And I guess it's not going to be a talent anymore. Maybe it could be a change for it. It probably is not going to be a talent anymore. It's just going to be a passive ability. Cower from pet abilities has been removed. Nobody really used it, so it doesn't really make sense to have it. Distraction Shot has been removed. Hunter's Mark has been removed. Kill Shot is no longer available to survival hunters. Sorry, survival hunters. I guess you're just going to have to deal without it. Lock and Load has been removed from the Black Arrow effect, or the Lock and Load passive. Black Arrow now naturally has the chance to cause the Lock and Load effect. So if you want to use a Lock and Load to get extra, I believe it's extra 2 explosive shots with no focus cost and no cooldown, make sure to use Black Arrow next time. Don't use traps. Stampede is now level 75 talent, which replaces Lynx Rush, and Lynx Rush is out of the game. That is a change that's kind of interesting, and I sort of like it actually. I wouldn't mind this change at all. Rapid Fire has been removed, and a passive from Rapid Fire, Rapid Recuperation, has been removed as well. Serpent Sting and Approved Serpent Sting has been removed completely, so that little poison dot that everybody gets, we don't have it anymore. Now, actually, Serpent Sting is being renamed to Serpent Sting, or Serpent Spread has been renamed to Serpent Sting, and it remains a passive for survival hunters. It causes multi-shot and arcane shot to also apply the Serpent Sting poisons, which does instant and periodic damage. So, looks like survival is going to be the poison masters, pretty much. Widow Venom has been removed, and Revive Pet and Mend Pet now share one button, which is pretty cool. It's like combining 2 buttons together and making 2 uses for it. It cleans up the build-up ports a little bit. Mage. Some of my favorite changes so far from Mage is Arcane Barrage now replaces Fire Blast. Arcane Blast now replaces Frost Firebolt. Pretty much just gonna summarize it. Arcane spells are only for Arcane Mages, like Arcane Explosion and Evocation and Arcane Armor. Frost is only gonna be using Frost, so Frost will not use Fire Blast or use the Pyromaniac spell, which does the AoE fire damage, and Fire will only stay with Fire. That is kind of cool actually, because there's no really, it doesn't make sense for Fire Mage to have a bunch of Frost spells and Arcane Explosion, or for Arcane Mage to have Fire Frost spells. It doesn't make sense, but this way they can only focus on their own traits and their own like specialization that they choose. I think that is fantastic. I agree with that. Monk. Avert Harm, Clash Adaptation, and Power Guard has been removed. Disable is now available only to Windwalker monks. Alright, Healing Sphere, the spell itself has been removed, but Healing Spheres will appear as other passives like Gift of the Ox, Windwalker's Afterlife, and Serpent's Mistweaver's Gift of the Serpent will also generate Healing Spheres, but you can spawn them wherever you want now. So it's not going to be a button, it's just going to be passive. Surging Mist is now available to all monk specializations. It costs 30 energy in Ox or Tiger stance and continues to cost mana in Serpent stance. And Surging Mist is the one that heals the target for a specific amount of energy or mana and generates 1 chi. And I think it's a good change. So now they have a legitimate healing ability they can cast on themselves or friendlies, which I think is good. Stance of the Spirited Crane now replaces Stance of the Fierce Target. Oh yeah, Spirited Crane is now another stance that Mistweavers have, where they can actually Fist Weave. So they do legitimate combat, and they actually do healing. Like, it's going to be a legitimate stance for Fist Weaving, which I think is awesome. And the tanking spec of the monk will get Stance of the Sturdy Ox, which will replace the Stance of the Fierce Tiger. Not sure much about that. There is not really much information about that. I think, wait, isn't it Stance of the Sturdy Ox just the tanking one? I guess it is. I don't really play Monk a lot. I'm leveling a Monk, I'm trying to learn about Monk, but I don't really play much. Paladin, one of my weirdest changes in my opinion. Avenging Wrath now only available to Retribution Paladin. I know about that. Devotion Aura is no longer available to Protection Paladin, which is really weird to me because I would love to use that, especially in raids. That's like the best ability ever. Divine Light has been renamed Holy Light. Divine Plea has been removed. Mana cost for Paladin has been adjusted accordingly. Guardian of the Ancient Kings is now only available to Protection Paladin. Yes, you heard it right. I think I already mentioned it before in the video. Handle Salvation has been removed, and Handle Salvation is the one that reduces threat. But since it's not really that needed, nobody really uses it. I barely even use it. I guess I see a reason why it's been removed. I agree with that. Holy Light, that little tiny spell that does nothing whatsoever, has been removed. I support that for sure. But here's an interesting part. Inquisition is out of the game completely, and that makes me question: will Red Paladin be able to just kick ass without needing of Inquisition, or will we get some kind of new passive that will make our damage better? Because I remember Inquisition was a big part of Paladin in order to do sufficient damage and be able to do that extra damage. But it would be interesting to go without it and not even use it. I think it's actually a pretty good change. Looking forward to it for sure. Priest, Binding Heal is no longer available to Shadow Priest, which is the one that heals a friendly target and the caster for a specific amount of spell power plus extra. Hymn of Hope has been removed completely. Heal has been removed. Greater Heal has been renamed Heal. Inner Focus no longer provides any mana cost reduction. Rapture has been removed. Renew is now available only to Holy Priest. Shadow Ward Death is now available only to Shadow Priest. Void Shift has been removed. Inner Fire and Inner Will has been removed. So there's a lot of removing from priests. Rogue, Disarm Trap has been removed. Rupture is no longer available to combat rogues. Whoa. And Shadow Blades has been removed. Whoa, that's a major cooldown for them. It's been removed. Wow, rogues are gonna be pissed. Shaman, Ancestral Awakening has been removed. Feral Spirit no longer has the Spirit Bite ability, so Feral Spirit will not be able to do Spirit Bite. But Ancestral Awakening, like kinda sorta makes sense. I don't know. It's kinda weird. Why would they remove that? That's actually a pretty useful ability because, check it out, when you critical heal with a single target direct heal, you summon an Ancestral Spirit to aid you, instantly heal in the most injured party or raid target within 40 yards for 30% of the amount healed. I think that was a cool ability because that helped them do like little side healing, just like Guardian did for Holy Pallies, but that's been taken out. Flame Tongue Weapon is no longer available to Restoration Shaman. Frostbrand Weapon is no longer available to Enhancement Shaman. I don't know why so much change is happening. Wow. Greater Healing Wave has been renamed to Healing Wave. Healing Wave has been removed. Healing Tide Totem is now available only to Restoration Shaman, which I don't know why they'll do that. I actually like Healing Tide Totem. Lava Burst now reduces Promise Strike from Elemental and Restoration Shaman. Alright, that makes sense, kind of. Magma Totem is now available only to Enhancement Shaman. Enhancement? Why only Magma Totem? Hold on, let me check this out. Summons a Fire Totem with 5 health at the feet of the caster. Damage creatures with 8 yards. I like that one. Why did it take it out for Elemental? Alright, whatever. Rock Bitter Weapon has been removed. Static Shock has been removed. Storm Strike and Storm Blast now deal 30% more damage when Lightning Shield is active. That's kind of cool. Storm Lash Totem has been what? Storm Lash is even removed? Dude, I actually like that one. That's a pretty good cooldown. Wow. That's crazy, man. Searing Flames has been wow, they're removing everything out the game. I remember Searing Flames was a big Enhancement Shaman like mechanic, and I loved it. It's like 3 casts of the totem and then do a lot of damage with Lava Lash, I think that's what it's called. Maybe not. Flame Tongue Weapon damage has been increased by 40%, and Lava Lash damage has been increased to 280% weapon damage. Okay, now I see why they're doing that. Alright, Water Shield is now available to only Restoration Shaman and replaces Lightning Shield. Makes sense, since it's the only spec that uses Water Shield. Warlock. I actually didn't get to see Warlock, so this is going to be interesting for me as well. All of the various Soulburn effects are learned together with Soulburn instead of at different levels. Alright, makes sense. Curse of Exhaustion and Curse of Elements now affects all enemies within 10 yards. Good change. Metamorphosis Curse Aura has been removed. Whoa. That's kind of cool. Alright, that's a pretty good change. Curse of Exhaustion and Curse of Elements no longer gains a benefit from Soulburn. Alright. Fire and Brimstone no longer applies to curses. Alright. That kind of makes sense, since Curse of Exhaustion and Elements is like an AoE ability now. Drain Life no longer gains a benefit from Soulburn. Alright. Drain Soul has been removed. Fell Flame has been removed. Wow, that's actually Drain Soul. I remember playing main and Warlock for the longest time in Cataclysm and some Pandaria, and Drain Soul was like a big ability for Affliction Warlocks. Why though? Yeah, I guess we'll just have to find out in patch 6.0. Health Funnel no longer gains a benefit from Soulburn. Metamorphosis of Void Ray has been removed. Whoa! And Carrion Swarm has been removed. That is crazy. Why would they do that? That is... whoa. Pyroclasm has been removed. What is that? Let me check this out. Pyroclasm is a Chaos Bolt, will be affected by backdraft but consumes 3 charges. Oh, okay then. Alright. The altered behavior it granted for Chaos Bolt is now baseline to backdraft. When you cast Configure, the cast time and mana cost. Alright. That sort of makes sense. That means Chaos Bolt is going to be more effective, if anything. Seed of Corruption now replaces Rain of Fire for Affliction Warlocks. Makes sense. Soul Shattered has been removed. Reduces threat by 90. That kind of makes sense. Unending Breath no longer gains a benefit from Soulburn. Wow, so you can't walk on water anymore. That kind of sucks. Warrior. Battle Shout now lasts 1 hour and no longer regenerates Rage. Makes sense. Make it a buff. Berserker Rage no longer regenerates Rage, increases physical damage dealt. Alright. Berserker Stance has been removed. Whoa. That is crazy. Berserker Stance. Alright, well, I guess it kind of makes sense that it's not really, wait, hold on. Berserker Rage no longer generates Rage, increases physical. So it's just an anti-fear? Alright, that's a nerf, guys. That's a big nerf. And Berserker Stance has been removed. Cleave has been removed. Whoa. Commanding Shot in the last 1 hour. Alright, Demoralizing Banner has been removed. Hamstring is not passive ability that causes Mortal Strike, Bloodthirst, Raging Blow to also reduce the target's movement speed by 50% 15 seconds. Hell yeah, that's a big buff. Rallying Cry no longer available to Protection Warrior. Sorry, not Paladin. We don't talk about Paladin this time. Recklessness is now available only to Fury and Arms. Alright. Skull Banner has been removed. Throw has been removed. Wow. Thundering Clap is no longer available to Fury Warriors. What? Whirlwind is now available only to Fury Warriors. Alright, so Thunderclap is going to be not much of a Fury Warrior ability. Whirlwind is. Alright. Crowd Control and Diminishing Effects. They taken away some diminishing effects from CCs and taken away a lot of CCs to make it so the game is not CC heavy all the time. Let's go ahead and read up some changes that we got here. Cyclone can now be cancelled by immunity effects such as Divine Shield and Ice Block, and can be dispelled by Mass Dispel. Sorry, this is a really long time for me to talk, and usually don't talk for that long. Disorienting Roar effects now share diminishing returns with other Mesmerize effects. Alright. Nature Swiftness can no longer turn Cyclone into an insta-cast. That's a nerf. Solar Beam no longer silence a target again than once per cast. Additionally, the silence effect from the spell now shares diminishing returns with other silences. Okay then, so silence cannot be a diminishing return. It's on diminishing return at this point. Wow, that's crazy. Wow. Maybe I should have been. I probably didn't notice. I'll play Paladin. I usually don't notice this kind of things. Hunter pets no longer have crowd control abilities. Alright. And they list a bunch of abilities that do not have crowd control abilities anymore. So the pets cannot do much. Why would they do that? I mean, pets abilities were a big thing. I mean, Warlock pets are doing a lot. Why would they remove Hunter CCs? Like Hunter pet CCs? Makes no sense. Entrapment, root effects now shares diminishing returns with other root effects. Alright. Scattershot is being removed. Whoa, dude. I love Scattershot. Why'd they take it away? Silencing Shot has been removed. Traps and Trap Launcher no longer have an arming time and can instantly trigger. That is a good buff. That's good. I like that. Traps can no longer be disarmed. Good. Scare Beast has now a 6-second duration in PvP, down from 8 seconds. Alright, I guess that can make sense for against druids. Mage. Dragon's Breath disorienting effect now also shares diminishing returns with other mesmerize effects. Alright, good. Ice Ward, frozen effects now shares diminishing returns. Improved counting spell is being removed. Presence of Mind can no longer turn polymorph into an insta-cast spell. I'm okay with that. Fists of Fury no longer stuns a target more than once per cast. Good, good. That's a big change. Wow, I actually like that. Glyph of Breath of Fire, disoriented effects now share diminishing returns with other mesmerize effects. Alright, grapple weapon has been removed. Whoa, okay. Ring of Peace no longer silences or disarms enemies and now incapacitates targets in an area for 3 seconds or until the target takes damage. That is good. I like that. I like this change. Spear Hand Strike no longer silences the target if they're facing the monk. Alright. Spinning Fire Blossom, root effects now share diminishing returns. Alright. Blinding Light has been removed. Oh, dude, that sucks. Wow. Repentance cast time has been increased to 1.8 seconds, and Turn Evil cast time has been increased to 1.8 seconds. I'm okay with that. Dominate Mind shows diminishing returns with other mesmerize effects. Good. Holy Word Chastise now shows diminishing returns with other mesmerize effects. Psychic Horror now shows diminishing returns. Psychic Scream replaces Siphon as a 45-second cooldown. Alright, that kinda makes sense. Rapture no longer has any effect beyond removing the cooldown of Powered Shield. Okay. Void Tendrils root effects and has a chance to break if the target takes sufficient damage. Okay, that's a pretty big change actually. Let's continue with Rogue. Dismantle is being removed. Paralytic Poison has been removed and replaced by Internal Bleeding. Internal Bleeding causes successful kidney shots to supply periodic bleed effect for 12 seconds, with damage increasing per combo point used. Alright. Right, it's a pretty decent change. Ancestor Swiftness for Shamans can no longer turn Hex into an insta-cast spell. Alright, makes sense. Earthgrab Totem now shows diminishing returns with all other root effects. Maelstrom Weapon can no longer reduce the cast time of Hex. Bug fix of Glyph of Shamanistic Rage should no longer cause Shamanistic Rage to incorrectly dispel Unstable Affliction or Vampiric Touch. That's been modified by the PvP 4P set bonus. Alright, that's actually not bad. That's pretty decent actually. Not bad. Warlocks. Blood Horror's cooldown has been reduced to has been increased to 60 seconds. Yes! Finally, I hate this thing. It now has diminishing returns. Yes, hell yeah. Fell Hunter Spell Lock now also interrupts spellcasting and no longer silences the enemy. That's good. Mortal Coil now also shares diminishing returns with all the mesmerize effects. Yes. Observer Optic Blast not only deals damage and interrupts spellcasts. Alright, that's okay. Seer's Magic cooldown is being increased to 30 seconds. Okay. Succubus Seduction. Mesmerize not only has a 30-second cooldown. I don't like this Seduction. I hate the mesmerize effect. I hate it. Every warlock uses that. I hate it. Terror Guard now also no longer casts Terrifying Roar when it dies. Okay, that's alright. Unbound Will cooldown is being increased to 2 minutes. And Voidwalker Disarm and Voidwalker Disarm has been removed. Voidlore Disarm. Sorry about that. Warrior Charge now roots the target instead of stunning them. Good. The root effect does not share the diminishing return with other roots. Yeah, that's actually not bad. Warbringer now causes charge to stun the target. So if you want to stun the target, choose Warbringer as a talent. Let me see. Disarm has been removed. Alright. So we can't disarm anymore at this point. Intimidating Shout has a 6-second duration in PvP. That's okay. That's okay. I'm okay with that. Buffs and debuffs. You know how they have weaken armor and weaken blows? That's been completely removed. So Druid, Warrior, Hunter, Rogue, and yeah, Warrior really. The stun or armor effects or like Fairy Fire, that's not there. I mean, the effect still works, but just the weaken armor is not a debuff you can apply anymore. Also, weaken blows with Druid's Thrash, Monk's Keck Smash, Paladin's Crusader Strike and Hammer Righteous, Shaman's Earthshock, Warrior's Thunderclap, and Hunter Pet's Bear's Demoralizing Roar. That weaken blow effect is not going to be in the game anymore, which I'm okay with. It didn't really make a lot of difference, I don't think. Cast speed slows. There are going to be cast speed slows that are going to happen, but it's not going to be like a bounce back. There will still be cast speed slows whenever you get attacked or whatever, but it won't be ridiculous. Like, it won't be to the point where it just backs you up completely to the beginning. spell, haste, and attack speed. So haste and attack speed will matter together. Like, the more haste you have, the more attack speed you will have, and that is actually kind of good. I'm okay with that. I'm completely okay with that because it's gonna affect every class out there and every spec out there. That's actually really good. Instacast heals, wild growth for druids, uplift for monk. Actually no, those are changes. I already talked about those are healing changes. Several instacast spells now have a 1.5 second cast time, which is not bad. And if you want to reduce that, just stack haste the best you can and reduce it to 1 second and even less than that. It's not bad. Tank, vengeance, and resolve. Alright, looks like there's going to be major changes to tanking and in general, like vengeance collecting. Vengeance has been removed from the game and replaced with a new passive ability, resolve. And resolve is going to be increasing your healing and absorption done to yourself based on stamina and damage taken before avoidance and mitigation in the last 10 seconds. That's actually not bad. There have been a bunch of, they actually also changed mastery for several classes. Let me read Paladin, that's the one that matters to me the most so far. Divine Bulwark now also effectively increases attack power by 12%. Alright, in addition to its current effects. So that's going to be for every tank class. The mastery is going to be increasing the attack power, which I think is fantastic because then we can maybe see tanks being used in PvP, which I think would be awesome. I would love to just run around with sword and board as my prop pally. Let me see. Facing requirements have been removed for druids and rogues. For druids, shred no longer requires druid to be behind the target. For rogues, ambush no longer requires the rogue to be behind the target, and rogues backstab now can be used on either side of the target in addition to behind the target. So you can use it from front or back. Resurrection mana cost has been changed, so it's not as much of the mana drain. Automatically learn glyphs, those are just something that people can eventually get. Automatically learn glyphs, while leveling characters unlock glyph slots, so yep, I understand that. In order to get glyphs, there's auctions, yep. So as you level up at level 25, 50, and 60, and 75, you'll be able to learn more and more glyphs, but there's going to be restrictions to what glyphs you can actually learn at your level. Like level 25, you can't learn Might of Ursak or Nature's Grasp or Rebirth glyphs, because they're not up to level 25, they're to level 50 glyphs. So as you continue to level up, you'll be able to unlock more and more glyphs that you can put in, which is, I think, in my opinion, is a pretty good addition. Professions are pretty much staying the same. You can still collect and level up your profession in higher level areas like you could in Pandaria with herbalism and mining, which is pretty decent. Class changes, that I think I'll make it into another video because that's a lot of information right here, guys. It's a lot of information. I think I'm gonna do review of class changes in next video, but thank you for watching this video. My name is Tamriel. Let me know what you're excited for, what you're scared for, what you're confused about in the comments below. Also, if you want to check this out, all these patch notes, you can either go on Blizzard's site or you can go on MMO-Champion.com. I'll leave a link in the description. And you guys, thank you for watching this video. My name is Tamriel, and have a great day. Have a great weekend, by the way. See ya.